Hello everyone, welcome to our humble homestead. Nothing glamorous about me today because it is hot. We've had like a 10-day streak over 102, 103, sometimes getting to 106. So I'm going to open up this umbrella right here. Oh, if it doesn't get caught on here. I'm just going to do a little homestead tour. There's not much going on this year, but yet we still have a nice little yard, lots of animals. And I know that back in the day when I lived in an apartment in Austin, Texas, I would have still been thrilled to see a video with someone having a garden just like I do today. It might not be the most spectacular, but you know what? It's informative too, because we live in like central/west Texas. It's very hot, very dry. I'll show you all these. We have these bald spots in the yard right here where it's just dirt, a little bit of grass, but mostly weeds. It's very hard to grow certain things here because I'll tell you what, it's zone 8A, and it gets exceedingly hot, very low rainfall. So you have to have plants that love the heat and love the drought and love the sun and can handle that no problem, or else the weeds are going to win over, because these weeds are tough as nails and they can handle all sorts of stuff. So they'll easily dominate anything else that's too sensitive or fragile out here. And then on top of it, we've also got very cold weather too. It does snow here. We've had a lot of hail. It's hailed like 8 times. I'm not exaggerating. It hailed 8 different times this year. It's been insane. And on that note, we're actually grateful that this year we did not do our usual vegetable garden, because we follow the Torah, and for us, and it's okay if you disagree, it's okay if you don't do this, just trying to explain for the sake of why we didn't. We believe that this was the Shemitah year, and I know a lot of people are on a different page, and that's totally okay, but that was for us, for our own conviction in our own hearts and our own beliefs. We felt that it was this year, so we did not do any planting. We didn't sow, we didn't till the ground, we didn't plant any seeds. But that being said, I still do a little bit of maintenance because we've got our blackberry bushes, which we're maintaining, and I'll show y'all a tour of that here in a little bit. We've added a pond over here. Where we live, there's so much rock, it's not even funny. I mean, I'm talking massive, giant rocks. So we started digging this duck pond and hit a rock that's about the size of that baby pool. So we just put the baby pool on top for the ducks. The chickens love it too, and we let it overflow. We've got some rocks in here, as you can see, so the ducks can get out, and we've piled up a lot of rocks over here. We started to put them around this side, but we mostly focused on this side so they can get in and out. We did have one chicken drown because, excuse our scrap piles. If you're redneck like we are, we have a lot of scrap piles. But we did have a chicken drown in here because my son, he's 3.5, he was playing in here and he goes, "Somebody put these rocks in here, I better get them out of here." And he had removed it, and so sadly we had a tragedy. We only have 3 ducks. There's 2 of them now. That's the drake in the front and the female in the back. She has a nest where she's been leaving eggs. I haven't found it. My husband says it's back over here in all this junk. Let's see if I can find it. These are our goats. We'll be expanding their pen further out. Let me see if I can find her. Look! Oh my goodness! Oh wow! This is my first time seeing it. Oh, that is so awesome. I hope we get little baby ducklings. All right. So, flies a problem until we got these. These smell really bad. You don't want to put these near your house, but they really work. We end up with so many flies. That whole thing is like full of them. It is so dry out here. It's not even funny. Look at this. Just bone dry. Hey, Joseph. What you got?
I got a stick with metal on it.
A stick with metal on it.
Yeah.
Didn't you say earlier you wanted the chickens to be your friend?
Yeah.
How do you think we will make them your friends?
Maybe you could just feed them.
You want to feed them a special treat?
Yeah.
All right. I was over here pruning my apple tree. We actually planted these before we built the coops. And I'm just gonna, I like to trim them at least this, you know, about up from here down. And any branches that are shooting straight up in the middle or curving in or crisscrossed weird or going down, I just trim all of those off so that we get more airflow, which creates less pest and disease problems. I haven't even gotten to this one, but I did grow these apple trees from seed. I believe they could be Fuji or Gala apples. They are from store-bought organic apples, so they might not even bear fruit. I think apple trees don't bear fruit to true to seed, so it could be, I don't know. But even so, it's creating shade. It's beautiful to look at. There was a third one right on this side of this chicken coop that was about this tall a year ago. It got fire blight and it just took the whole tree out. I didn't know about it in time. I didn't know what it was until I researched it. And when I researched it, it was too late. It's too far gone. And these ones survived. So you know what? Only the strong survive. And although I was very, very upset about that because that was also a tree I'd grown from seed, that's just the way of the gardener, is you win some and you lose some, and only the strong survive. And that's, you know, survival of the fittest, natural selection. These ones, should they bear fruit, are just going to be extra hardy. They can survive the heat. They can survive the drought. I water them only around the roots, and I water them every 2 to 3 days. That's about it. And they've toughed it out, and we've survived the snowpocalypse, and they've survived it, and I'll show you all the rest. But Joseph, do you want to feed the chickens a treat? We were playing around with these waterers. I don't know if y'all have ever seen these on the internet. They've worked really well. The only problem is one of the times where it hailed, we forgot this. It was open, and it flew over, and it took this whole thing with it, and it knocked into one of those and messed it up. So it's on here to get repaired. But we were so blessed, and I can't even say enough. I was offered to do a review of these and to have them shipped to me for free. That's amazing. GrubTerra, I've heard a lot about. Black soldier fly larva. You know, I have had a worm farm before, and I would see these growing in there, and I didn't know what they were. And it makes me want to get another worm farm. They're these cool little towers, and you just build up each little bit with worm food, and you put the earthworms in there, and they just decompose it all, and then it like slowly sifts, the good stuff sifts to the bottom, and so you build these like little towers. Maybe I'll get another one and do a video review of that, because I actually really enjoyed it. I really liked the one that I had. And this is our compost over here is a total failure. We did not make it to where the chickens couldn't get in. It was piled up a lot higher than that, and as you can see, there's nothing there. It's level to the ground because these chickens have just gone through it all. They've spread it everywhere. We put our ashes from our wood burning stove in there, all kinds of kitchen scraps. There's one in there right now. Yeah, we kind of gave up on our compost this year. Maybe some other time we'll build a better one. All right, Joseph, come here. You ready to feed the chickens? We let our chickens free roam in our yard. We finally got this little side of our backyard.
Feed chickens worms.
Well, we're gonna feed them these. These are a real treat for them. Black soldier fly larva. It's a resealable bag too. So we love to feed our chickens lots of protein. Okay, you grab a handful and say chick, 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 and sprinkle them on the ground. Go over there. Down. Chick, 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 chick. Yeah, chick, 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 chick. Yeah, chick, 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 chick. Yeah, chick, 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 chick. Oh, now they're getting them now. And then when one sees them getting a treat, the other ones are like, "Ooh, what you got?" Yeah, chick, 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 chick. You're hot. You look hot. You look worn out. Yeah, chick, 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 chick.
You just throw them.
They'll find them. Here, scoot back. They're distracted by you. Ooh, look. Yum. She says yum. That'll make their eggs a lot healthier. Protein is the way to go. We let our chickens eat all the grasshoppers and bugs they want. Sometimes I'll actually spray the ground in their chicken coops. It'll kind of get all the scratch that they haven't eaten to ferment a little bit. Fermented grains. Okay, the roosters are talking over me, but the fermented grains are great for the chicken's guts as well. Sometimes it'll even start growing into I think they don't eat the rye. I think my husband said it's the rye that they're not really that crazy about, but then we water it and it'll grow ryegrass, and then the chickens eat the ryegrass. So every now and then, like if I fill up this little watering thing right here, I'll just go ahead and spray some of the feed. But, well, I won't when there's Leyena. We've got some Leyena in there. And that does help. But these white chickens are leghorns. They're excellent layers. We went with leghorns because our buff Orpingtons were not laying very many. But the buffs get bigger. They're a bigger breed, so there's more meat on them. Here's one of my older hens. And you can see she's a big fluffy gal. Getting some shade. She's pretty though. I really do love their golden feathers. Well, she doesn't want to be seen right now. So, one of the other blessings that we got is this expandable, 3rd generation expandable garden hose, 50 feet. Now, this is the brand LeFree. And the funny thing is, when they offered me a free expandable garden hose to do a review, I did not know that it was going to also come with this spray nozzle, and ours just broke. We go through these a lot. I don't know about you guys, but we go through them a lot. At some point, they just start leaking. Like it might start spraying out the sides here or here. It just starts dripping or something. And it's probably because we're rough with them. But I was just so thrilled that this actually came with that. So we've already started using the spray nozzle. And it also, it's got a lifetime warranty. This came with a hook to actually put it on the wall on our house. And we are not very organized with our hoses yet. And I hope this will be a game changer to actually hang up the hose. So I've heard of expandable hoses, but not one like this. Like I've never seen one like this. It's rubbery. So I'm just as curious as you are to see this in action and see how it works. And this is a nice nozzle. It's not plastic, y'all. This is like some serious heavy duty stuff right here that should last for a really long time. We could always use more hoses. In fact, what I'm excited about this too is oh, you've got one. Yeah, they're sweet. She let you hold her. You want to kiss her head? Oh. So one thing we've already been planning since we first got here, there's my husband. We are gonna put a faucet in the back. The kitchen sink is right on the other side of this, so it'll be really easy to do. We've got a French drain here. We're gonna put a faucet right here because right now, Okay, let me talk. We're running a hose all along here. My husband is dusting borax around our house to keep the ants out. Just a pro tip, if you don't want to have ants in your house, borax, just sprinkle it around the whole perimeter of your house. So we've been running this hose from the front all the way back here, and then we've got a situation right here where some of the times we have to water that side of this big heavy fence, and then sometimes we got to water this side. So we're constantly dragging this hose over and over. So what we're going to do is we're going to hook up a faucet out here, and we're going to put a splitter. And so then we'll have one hose that's always on this side and one hose that's always on this side. So very, very happy, thrilled, and excited to try my new hose, and it couldn't have come at a better time. All right, and I'm gonna show what we've got growing on. Even though it's the summertime and we didn't do a vegetable garden, this is a mulberry tree. And the funny thing, I love this story. It's a testimony of our Heavenly Father, and that He knows our desires even before we ask. This old abandoned house here, like somebody owns it and we've talked to them, but they never live there. They never do anything. They come here like 3 times a year. They mow the yard, and that's about it. On the other side of this is a mulberry tree that's dying. And I tried several times to take a cutting, and I was unsuccessful trying to clone the mulberry for my own. And I tell you what, we have some raised beds in the front over about where my husband is. One day I was in the raised bed and I found a mulberry growing, a little sapling growing there. And I just knew this is a gift from our Heavenly Father. He knew and saw me struggling to get a mulberry, and lo and behold, He gave me one. So I planted it when it was about 6 inches tall, right here. And I just have never seen a more healthy and like straighter tree. I can't even believe it. This tree just looks really amazing. Now, when we were getting too much rain in June, and when we were getting a lot of hail, it did start splitting the bark, and I was like really nervous that this was going to be an opening for some pests and diseases. But as you can see, it has pretty much healed nicely, and it's continuing to heal. We did have some splitting though, but it's doing really good overall. I'm very proud of this tree. I think it's already providing shade right here. And that's really the name of the game. As you can see, like, I don't think actually that any of y'all realize when we bought this place, there was nothing on it. There was these 3 mesquite trees here. There was a mesquite tree stump that was dead right here. These weren't there, obviously. And then there was these 3 mesquite trees. That's it. And the whole front yard was like this. And the whole backyard was like this. So we've been working at it. We've been trying to invite beneficial birds and insects and changing the soil game, but it has not been an easy process. It's been like pulling teeth. We've tilled this whole area, I think 4 years now. Well, I would say 3 times, because this year we did not till. We've tilled this 3 times, 3 years in a row. Every time we would get massive piles of these little rocks. They're just everywhere. This is totally virgin soil, because this was a church since 1908. Nobody has ever worked the land. And so we are definitely put against the challenge. Look at that. There it is. Huh. Good old chemtrails over here. I rebuke you in the name of Yahushua HaMashiach. All right. Over here is my electroculture experiment. I'm not oh, you want our chickens? Scoping out our birds. Nothing's dead over here. I've been curious about electroculture, and I'm not like an electrician. I don't know anything. I'm sure this is not in any way going to be taken seriously by someone that actually knows what they're doing with electricity. This is just me doing something for fun. I think it's neat. And I had this copper wire and I just spiraled it around some, I mean, this is a grill, okay, from a little charcoal grill. So I made this little pyramid on the top and spiraled everything together and then spiraled this all the way down. And it is, I lost my hat. It is planted in the ground and we've got these big rocks to hold it into place. But I'll tell you what, I am a believer in this electroculture stuff. As you can see, it's just in the nearby proximity of my mulberry that's doing great. It's in the nearby proximity of this. And look at this. This cane right here, this whole entire branch that I'm pulling on and shaking, that's a new growth. All of that. Look how thick this is, all the way down to right here. This is a brand new cane shooting up. And blackberries, if you didn't know, they only grow on second-year canes. So this grows this year, and the next year this will be covered in blackberries. So we've got, this one might not make it down here. I got to water today. This one was our big provider this year. There's actually several of them. There's one right here. There's a big one here. There's one on the side. And then what we've found out is that this is actually a raspberry. The way you can tell the difference is like if you look on these new growth, the top of the leaves is the same color on the blackberry, but on a raspberry, the bottoms of the leaves is white. So we would love to have raspberries too. And on that note, this raspberry, I have another little electroculture experiment with some copper around a metal stake. But unfortunately, guys, I weed whacked the best part of this raspberry. Whoops. So there's a little baby one here and there's this one here, and as you can tell, they're getting too crispy. So I need to water today, and I better stop this video. So we found this little elm sapling too. We decided to just let it grow, and somebody, it might have been my 3-year-old, came over here and stepped on it, knocked it over. Could have been my husband. But we're just gonna grow that for some shade right here. Why not? Shade and privacy. And we've got a plum over here. There's a persimmon in this little cage all the way down at the end. Some lantana growing over there, a failed lettuce bed. And then I've got these beautiful cannas that produce these stunning red-orange flowers this year. We didn't have any idea what the flowers were gonna look like. I'll edit it to have a picture right now. And we've got our hummingbird feeder right there, which I've been keeping track of, and we've been feeding the hummingbirds. But that's it for now. That's it for today's update, except when I plug this awesome brand new garden hose. I'll show y'all how this thing expands, because I am very curious to see this in action. All right, once I let go of this, it's gonna start filling up. I've attached it right here. So let's check it out. I guess I need to detangle it. Oh, I hope it doesn't knot up. No way. All right, cool. Very nice. Okay. So I just dirtied this, but it's got all these different settings on it, which I always really like. I love using the mist one whenever I've got my seedlings in the trays. You got your angle, your soaker, jet. We use the jet a lot. Like I use that one to clean off my front porch because the birds like to poop on it. Cone, shower. Shower I use the most. I use that for watering all my gardens. Truth be told, this shower setting on here is a little too narrow. I like more of a wide spray, but it still does the job and I'm very grateful for it. There's a flat spray, a full spray. We use the full spray to fill up our buckets. It's got a center spray and a half vert. That's a lot of different settings, a lot of different applications. And also, right here on this, oh, that scared me. See, this is the shower spray. And one thing I like about handles like this is your hand gets tired like holding it. So you've got this little metal piece. You can actually just tuck it in. Let me do it. You can tuck it in like this and it'll stay. I think my husband doesn't quite understand this function, and so he's actually loosened this to where it's not working properly. So yeah, you have to have this a little bit tighter, and then that function works much better. You don't want it all the way tight, or this, like, you have to push really hard. Somewhere in between, loose, and then you just slip that in there, and you don't even have to hold that sprayer down. Got a great function. So now this should really reach everywhere, and I don't have to pull the hose quite so bad. It's very light. That's the one thing I'm noticing right now. This hose is so light. It's not very heavy. So I definitely am I just realized a critical error that I made. Nothing too, well, I shouldn't say critical, but major. You have to allow this hose to expand with this in the off position for about 10 minutes. So you want it to fill up with water. I was wondering why it didn't seem to be expanding, if it's an expanding hose. So now let's see what happens. And I'm going to share with y'all a little bit else that it came with. 3 extra little rubber gaskets. Those things get lost and they do get worn out. And it came with some of this, which I assume it looks like the stuff that you use to repair any leaks. Yahuwah forbid it, but just in case. But yeah, when I came back over my table and I saw the instructions, I was thinking, did I really go over all the features that it had? And I see on the back all this little information right here. Number one, it comes in all these different colors. And this is what has all the accessories. But then it said the instructions are to turn the valve to off position, connect the spray nozzle to the hose, connect the hose to an external tap or pump with gaskets and open the tap, then turn it on. When fully expanded, it's ready to use. Okay. Do not use the hose for drinking water. Don't leave it exposed to the sun for a long time. Or in extreme winter weather, yeah, well, you don't want your hoses to freeze. Be careful on rough concrete and sharp edges. All right. Very nice. And this one, I didn't even realize till I came over here that it's also good for reptiles and fish. So that's got multi-uses. It's not just for chickens. Good stuff. Stronger eggshells. I just feel like this was such a perfectly timed blessing, both of these, and I just feel so grateful for them. And I'm sure my birds and my plants will love them too, so thank you, GrubTerra and LeFree. Thank you so much. quite the blessing. All right. Well, that's about it for this video. I gotta go about my business because it's hot and these plants really need some water. Thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe below.